Hello race fans and welcome to DRSN. We are live here on YouTube, ready for the Dirty Old Bastards Arca series event here in Nashville Superspeedway, a 1.33 mile oval made out of concrete. Gonna see challenges for these drivers. They've got, I believe it should be one fast repair, 3 sets of tires total. I'm Liam Erbig up in the booth, ready to bring you guys the action. Got ourselves a pretty good points battle heading in to this race as well. See, Chris Roberts comes into this race with a 9-point lead over Randall Falks, who's been on a tear as of late. He's got 2 wins on the season. Joshua Pickle just behind. He's got a win as well, with Scott Lester and Trevor Hignut rounding out your top 5. Adam Buchanan, Jesse Lynch, Michael Tomlin, Gary Buchanan, and Aja Case round out your top 10 within 61 points of your race leader, or series leader for the time being. Still got a ways to go here in this season. The points battle definitely heating up top with just 9 points separating the top 2, and it's 32 back from the lead to 3rd place. 5 starts for everybody up in that top 5, 4 top 5s for Chris Roberts, and that's what separates him, puts him at the front of the point standings here. Been massively consistent up in the top 5 all season long. The Arca cars getting ready to drive here in Nashville. Got 21 registered, maybe 20. Might have one in race control. 20 drivers registered at one of the toughest ovals to make a pass. You're going to see guys on fresh tires side by side, but as these tires wear down, you're going to see the middle to outside lane be a little bit more predominant when it comes to holding on to positions. Got just a couple of moments here before we get set to grid up this field. Getting ready to rock and rumble here in Nashville. This guy's hoping for a clean race here on the bigger track. Looks like it's about time to get the grid rolling. On the pole, it's going to be Randall Falks with Ken Baum Jr. to his outside. And we see Chris Roberts and Scott Lester making up row number 2. Row 3, going to have William Peters and Jonathan Lowe, followed by Joshua Pickle and Jesse Lynch. Zane Scott and Dustin Steinman round out your top 10, followed by Aja Case and Jeff Sharp. Michael Tomlin, not the coach of the Steelers, with Billy Rowley to his outside, followed by Kenny Hoffman and Trevor Hignut. Jared Girononi, he's got Nick Gounce to his outside with Kevin Bailey and Gary Buchanan rounding out the top 20. Brandon Eiler gonna round out the field here today. Talking that number 5 machine, Randall Falks in car number 33, ready to lead us down for 100 laps here at Nashville Superspeedway. Everybody's on the track. Everybody's ready to get to rolling here. The pace car about ready to start moving. As we approach the 4th of July weekend, you're going to see plenty of patriotic paint schemes tonight. We'll do our best to make sure that each and every one of them is represented here tonight. Of course, we have our pole sitter. Major's Garage, 7 creative on the front of that machine, and plenty of stars and stripes all around. You love to see it. Celebrating America's 250th year, 250th birthday. Doing it in style. That 93 with some red, white, and blue on that dirty old bastard's machine as well. Hopefully that doesn't get me flagged. I'm just saying the race name, the league name, but appreciate everybody tuning in here live on DRSN. Be sure to drop who your favorite driver is. We will get them on screen for you. Pace car makes that hard left turn. We are ready to roll here for 100 laps in the Arca cars. Green flag. Green flag is out, and we are racing here in the DOB Arca Series. Fox able to get away clear. Second place. Oh, Chris Roberts sideways coming up off of turn number 2. Here comes the 86 all the way down to the bottom. William Peters trying to make something happen. 3 wide bottom. There's the 1 of Case going all the way up to the wall. Don't expect to see people up there this early, but that's where you got to run. That's where they're going to run. A little bit of 3 wide coming up off of turn number 4, but we get through lap number 1 clean and green. As Randall Fox leads the first lap here in Nashville. He's being chased down by Ken Baum Jr. by about 1/3 of a second. Scott Lester here in 3rd, trying to keep that 20 car of Jonathan Lowe behind him. Lowe looking low, and he's going to try to make something happen here on these fresh tires. It's going to be a tough pass to make down on the bottom, because you see, for that reason right there, the outside car can just keep that momentum up a little bit better. Now you see that number 2 Miller genuine draft machine of Joshua Piquel trying to make something happen on the outside of car number 20. It's going to be really easy to take advantage of a momentum loss like that, but it's really easy to get up a little bit too high coming up off of the corner. Have to let out of the throttle to avoid hitting the wall. That gives the advantage back to the 20 low down on the inside. Not for long. That too is able to get back on the throttle. Look at that 20 starting to slide around coming up off of turn number 4. That's not going to be good for these tires. Remember, these guys only get 2 sets in the pits. It's possible these guys could be looking at potentially a one-stop race. Have to see if they can make it 50 laps on fuel, but cautions will also be very dependent on that situation. Taking a look at Chris Roberts, who's fallen back to 8th place after starting in 3rd. He came into this race with the points lead, which of course will continue to bring up for you guys so you can get a good idea of it. Chris Roberts right now in 8th with Randall Fox in the race lead. So as of right now, that would be the points lead changing hands. Chris Roberts wants to try to get a couple of passes done. He sees him 3 wide just in front of him. Look at this battle as Jonathan Lowe really trying to hold on. 86 down on the inside. That's William Peters. Still 3 wide, and you've got the 2 of Joshua Piquel up on the outside. He's going to be able to make it stick. He's going to get clear of both of those guys. While they do that, that just allows drivers like Jesse Lynch and the 1 of Case to be able to move up to the outside. Close in on these guys. While all of this is happening, Randall Falk is out to a 1.3 second lead already. After just 5 laps, going to be 6 laps complete here across the start-finish line. Second place still Ken Baum Jr. He's got Scott Lester trying to chase him down. Zane Scott also in that 37. A ZSM, pretty blank white car there. Have updated training paints a couple of times throughout the course of the night just to make sure everybody's paint schemes are correct. Speaking of paint schemes, Scott Lester, another one of those patriotic paint schemes that we have out on the racetrack. Driving car number 10, red, white, and blue. Stars and stripes all over it. It's going to fall back to 4th place, though, with Zane Scott. be able to get around him for third place. Lap 8 out of 100 here. Let's take a look at your fastest last laps this last time around. Of course, Randall Falks, the race leader. He was quickest by almost a tenth, actually, is Zane Scott in the second fastest lap. See what it is across the line here. Yeah, it's another 7 100ths in the favor of Falks, 8 100ths that time. So Zane Scott, he's a little bit quicker than second place, but nobody's running as fast as your race leader at the time. Still side by side. Jonathan Lowe trying to work around the 20. Chris Roberts trying to work around the 20 of Jonathan Lowe. Got side by side with Jesse Lynch and William Peters just behind. Working lap number 10, and Peters got super loose. Or sorry, that was Lynch. Got super loose coming up off of the corner. Able to keep her steady there. Keep that car with all four wheels underneath, but still sliding a little bit off the bottom. That's going to allow Kenny Hoffman to get down to the inside. Hoffman doing a pretty good job of closing in. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 86 and the 04. That's going to send the 86 up the racetrack. Gets the 04 a little bit loose. Now we see Hoffman trying to find a way around Lynch. His case was able to get around William Peters. Peters isn't going to like that, though. Peters might want to try to get back to that 04 and at least make a pass. Say, hey, like, this is how you do it clean. Or maybe he's got other intentions. Maybe he's not worried. It's not my job to create stories. These guys create the stories, and the story is, here comes Hoffman down to the inside of Lynch. Aja Case looking to try to follow through. That's 79. Haven't talked a whole heck of a lot about Billy Rowley. I don't think we've mentioned his name outside of the starting grid. He's worked his way up into the 11th place. Quick look back, you see Brandon Eiler, that 5. Shotgun on the field. He's up 7 spots from where he started. Just got around Jeff Sharp, who's lost about 3 positions from the start of the race in these first 12 laps. Nick Downs back here as well in that number 5, HendrickCars.com. Tomlin out here in 17th place. Trying to stay within this big battle of 5 because he knows 17th could turn to 13th in just a quick moment. Kevin Bailey, Trevor Hignut back here in 18th and 19th, kind of biding their time, sticking with each other with the draft, hoping not to lose too much time. Potentially anticipating a little bit more of attrition like we've seen in the last couple of weeks, but so far so good. Jarrett Garinoni. Sorry. Tongue twisters are hard. Gary Buchanan, tail of the field. Everybody still on the lead lap. Everybody on the racetrack. And Randall Falks is on another level. Out to a 2.3 second lead. Now Zane Scott was able to get around the 51 of Ken Baum Jr. Pull into second place. And that battle has allowed Scott Lester to close in to these two. A little bit more action here with Kenny Hoffman. A lot of action here down the front straightaway. A lot of side-by-side action. That number 2 Miller Genuine Draft car. You see the 1 get super loose coming through the corner. It just looks so good under the lights in a night race. Even on this body, it's looking pretty stout. Hoffman trying to slide up, doesn't quite have the space. A little bit of a wall tap there for the 2, and to the bottom of the racetrack goes the 79, Billy Rowley. Oh, Rowley gets out of the apron. Slides up the racetrack. Good thing he checked up a little bit, otherwise that could have been our first caution of the race. Working lap number 16, or 17 rather, 16 complete, coming to lap 18 across the start-finish line. Randall Fox has led them all. Only 18 laps, and it looks like he's got about 3/4 of a tank left. Of course, it's not as accurate as those Amazon Prime Super Next Gen stats are, but it gives us a kind of rough idea of where he might be in a fuel cycle. I think with this type of pace, a one-stopper is entirely possible for car number 33. Still battling down the front straightaway, though. Joshua Piquel got checked up a little bit. He lost some spots. Oh, a little bit loose there for Jesse Lynch. Just going to allow the 5 of Eiler try to gain another one. Way up the racetrack is the 2 of Piquel. Eiler gets right up to the rear of Jesse Lynch. Can't quite get the pass complete there. All over the rear bumper, and that's going to get that 5 a little bit sideways coming up off of the corner. It's going to cost Brandon a couple of spots as he falls back down to 14th. Jeff Sharp able to take advantage, moves down to the inside, trying to get a 2-for-1 on the inside of Jesse Lynch now. It's a good center of the corner, able to get to the throttle on pace with the 04 up on the outside. That gives him a nice run through the front straightaway, taking that shorter way around. Going to get a shallow entry here into turn number 1. Now he's going to be able to move in front of this battle as these 3 continue to try to sort it out. Or is the 76 going to be able to drive away? Because here comes Joshua Piquel back to the inside. Brandon Eiler to the inside of Lynch as well. Passing is very tough to do here. It is a tough act to complete. Ken Baum Jr. has taken over second place once again. It's actually, this last time around, run just a hair quicker than your race leader. We'll see if this lap is the same. Had to make a pass. Going to be a couple hundredths off the pace. It's a 3.15 second gap up front. Time around still a little bit quicker for Fox. That 33 has been absolutely lights out from the drop of the green flag. He's not looked back and starting to get to a point where the undercut may not be enough. Like I would figure he would try an overcut anyways, run a little bit longer so that his tires are fresh at the end. He's already shown he's got the pace. So even if he risks losing a little bit of track position, he's still going to be in pretty good shape. However, it's up to 3.25 seconds right now. With these guys having fallen off about half a second from where their fastest laps were in 25 laps, you would probably have to pit 5 or 6 laps before the race leader in order to gain that spot. Coming up off of turn number 2, here comes Peters down to the inside of Rowley. It's a battle inside the top 10 for 9th place. Rowley's going to fight hard up on the outside. Little bit loose out of the 86. It is so easy to do. You lose that air on the right rear. These cars are very aero dependent. They don't have nearly as much power as, say, like the Cup car or really anything. So it's really easy to get your car out of shape and lose a lot of momentum. Comes Rowley looking down to the inside of Hoffman. Not quite able to make it happen. Going to slide up and give the chance back to car number 86. Going to try a little side draft down the front straightaway, get the shorter lane in. Oh, almost a little bit of contact, and the 79 going to slide up the racetrack. Can he get to the throttle quick enough? Not quite. 86 going to move back up into 9th place. Billy Rowley back to 10th. Now Peters tries to get around Kenny Hoffman. He's got the nose out in front, gets to the gas good in the middle of the corner, slides up just a little bit. Still side by side, dead even coming up off of the corner. Just a slight advantage there for Hoffman, but the draft going in the favor of the 86. Going to be a shallow entry, slides up, almost a little bit of contact. Rowley trying to stay off the back of the 86. They're going to be 3 wide coming down the back straightaway. Can they enter 3 like this? Doesn't look like it. 86 is going to back off, try a little bit of a crossover here on the 79. Rowley gets a little bit loose. 86 also gets loose. He gets up into the wall after correction. It's going to cost him a little bit of time as now Brandon Eiler closes in on Peters, trying to find his way into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Started shotgun on the field, 21st out of 21 cars. Of course, as we complete lap number 30 this time around, Randall Falk just did. All 21 cars still on the lead lap. Gary Buchanan is about to fall into the clutches of your race leader. He's just about 3 seconds up the road from where Randall Falks is. Obviously, there's going to be a huge speed discrepancy between these two, but this will be the first time Randall Falks has had any dirty air on the front of his car. We'll see if that does anything to slow him down, or if it's just going to be business as usual for car number 33. Brandon Eiler looking at the outside of Hoffman here. Slides up the racetrack a little bit more than he might want to. William Peters got super loose coming up off of the corner there. Was able to keep it straight, but lost 2 more. One to Joshua Piquel, one to Jesse Lynch. Gonna have to try to get that one back. Get those 2 back. Maybe even 3. If you're gonna include Eiler, but he's got to do that without letting Jeff Sharp get around him. Jeff Sharp, car number 76. We saw him aggressive earlier on. He lost a couple of spots. After that big sideways moment there for Lynch in the 04. What a save. Good job there by Peters being able to get off of the gas and allow that 04 the chance to save the race car. Piquel moves down to the inside of Eiler. Oh, a little bit of contact there. These guys have been incredibly courteous all night tonight. We're about a third of the way through this race. Haven't seen a caution yet, and we've seen incredibly clean passes all throughout the field. Take a look now. We've got a battle heating up for 3rd place. Scott Lester trying to close in on Zane Scott. I keep wanting to say Zane Smith. Scott in 3rd place, trying to hold on. Scott Lester is closed in. It's right to the rear bumper. Takes a little bit wider of an entry. Wider of an arc. Gets to the center. Through the center a little bit better. It's going to create a lot of momentum down this front straightaway. Where does the 10 decide to go? Mr. Scott versus Scott Mister. Again, you see that different arc coming out of the 10. Able to run lower through turns 1 and 2. Get a good run coming up off of the corner because he's able to get to the throttle better in the center. Now, this is a shallow entry. It might be a little bit tougher. As now you see that 10 slides up the racetrack, but the 37 also sliding up. He might get close to the wall here as he tries to use up all the racetrack that he can. He's going to be able to hold on to that position, and that is exactly what we are going to see throughout the rest of this night. Fresh tires are going to be important when these guys get the chance to come in and get fresh tires. If we stay green this whole time, we're pretty much going to be pitting right around halfway. if we do see cautions, that's going to change up the strategy. Is Ken Baum Jr. He's on the apron. He's coming into the pits here at lap 36. So Ken Baum Jr., he is out of the race. Nick Downs comes into the pits. There's the 029. Kevin Bailey just in front of your race leader. Randall Falks out to a 7-second lead right now. Scott Lester still trying to get past Zane Scott just in front of him. Like I brought up, you can see these guys using different lines that benefit them in different parts of the racetrack, different parts of the corner. Scott Lester is just not quite able to get close enough to make that move. He made it once and just did not have the grip on the bottom of the racetrack, did not have the angle to get to the throttle quicker than 37. And as these guys continue to battle hard, it's just going to allow Randall Falks to drive away. Chris Roberts up to 4th place. Was as far back as 9th. Around lap 10 or so. Let's take a look at the chart. Fell back to P9 at the very beginning of the race with a big loose moment. Able to work his way back up into 4th. Gets up to 3rd. That'll be about where he started. Then you've got this guy's chart. I think technically he didn't lead at the initial start, so that's why it's showing him in P2 for that one moment, but by the end of the lap he was out front and he stayed there the entire time. Scott Lester finally able to get around Zane Scott here for P2. But it's 8.24 seconds back from the race leader. Falks was able to gain 0.3 per lap while those guys were trying to figure out second place. Kind of goes to show how aero-dependent these cars can be. Especially working through traffic at a similar speed to you compared to what Randall Falks is dealing with. Cars that are not super close to him in terms of pace. However, 5 of Nick Downs has fresh tires just in front of him, so that could very well cause him a little bit of issue with dirty air. Five's running a completely different line, so I don't think it's going to affect that 33 too much. Believe it is a fixed setup, yes. Thanks for tuning in, JD, Wisconsin JD. Good to see you. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in so far for this race. It has been an absolute banger. Randall Falks has been able to get away with the lead. He's got 8.4. But everywhere else on the racetrack, we've had phenomenal battles. Here's Jesse Lynch. Oh, a little bit loose there is Brandon Eilers. He's going to get... Good save there. He got really squirrely, kind of twitchy loose there. These Arca cars on 45-lap-old tires, it can be really, really sketchy when you get a twitch like that. I know he was already sliding, but those twitches can jump on you in an instant. So you see a little bit of right rear damage to Eilers' car. Not entirely sure where that came from, but it doesn't seem to be hurting his car too much. Well, we got loose that last time, but Jeff Sharp got pretty loose this time around. I think that might be more of a tire thing than damage related. So Falk's still sitting behind the 5. But Downs isn't really getting in his lane too much. He's still able to run about a 1/10 and a half quicker than what Scott Lester's putting down in second place. Side by side here, 16 and 2. This is for 13th place, or 12th place rather. Joshua Piquel, Michael Tomlin. Oh, Tomlin got in there a little bit hard, got loose. Starts to lose a little bit of momentum coming up off of the corner, and that allows Piquel to get close down the back straightaway. How close does he want to get? Gets a little bit of the apron there. Well, this battle for 9th place amongst these 3 drivers. Everybody's on super old tires. Everybody's slipping and sliding around. We're coming to lap number 50 this time around. There's no better way to split it than lap 50 out of 100. Here comes Lynch down to the inside of Eilers. So Jesse Lynch moves his car up into the 9th position. Brandon Eiler in 10th. Jeff Sharp still in 11th. Jonathan Lowe going to come into the pits. Going to come in right at the halfway point. See what your race leader decides to do. He's up to a 10-second lead. Scott Lester and Zane Scott still battling for 2nd place. Trading it back and forth. And again, that's allowed Chris Roberts to close back in. Roberts, after a tough start, trying to do everything he can to hold on to this points lead. Came in 9 points ahead of your race leader, Randall Falks. Falks has been on a tear. He's won 2 of the first 5 races this season. 3 top 5s throughout the course of this season so far. On pace for a 4th top 5 and a 3rd race victory. Here comes Chris Roberts looking down to the inside. Thought he had a bit of momentum there to make the move on the inside, but not quite enough racetrack, not quite enough speed. So now you got to wonder, how aggressive does that 10 start to get back in front of the 37? He sees a loose moment coming out of Zane Scott. Coming up off of turn number 2, so we'll see if he doesn't get enough momentum down the back straightaway. But Chris is really putting pressure to the rear bumper. Momentum goes in the favor of the 10. Scott Lester coming up off of the corner, but the center is a huge benefit in terms of what the 93 can do getting back to the throttle. Took a little bit more of a shallow entry that time, so that compromised his center corner speed and when he can get onto the throttle with the way his car is pointed. But as he works through 3 and 4, he kind of does what Kevin Harvick did at Atlanta. He stays lower a little bit longer. It just doesn't seem like he's working that car as hard as the rest of these guys are. Unless we're talking Randall Falks, because he is on another level. 11.7 seconds is his gap, and I think at this point he's going to wait for everybody to come in so he can try to go flag to flag, wire to wire, and lead every lap here today. These are our practice results. You can see William Peters was fastest, Jonathan Lowe. Randall Falks was 3rd quickest. See the rest of them on the side of the screen, but that's what we were dealing with in practice. Of course, we saw car 33 was on the pole. So now here comes 93, Chris Roberts into the pits. from 4th place. So Randall Fox is trying to he can't get a perfect sweep. It might be a Grand Slam weekend if he can get the fastest lap, lead every lap, and win from the pole. Right now, Zane Scott has the fastest lap of the race. Let's take a look at our fastest 5 laps of the race. Zane Scott just 100th quicker than Fox. We'll see if the new tires later on in this race will allow for Randall Fox to try to get himself back up to the top. Top of that board, at least. He is by far and away top of the board in the race standings. Jesse Lynch, Michael Tomlin, Jeff Sharp, Joshua Piquel. They're all coming in. Zane Scott, Trevor Hignut, and of course your race leader, Randall Fox. The only drivers still out here on everything that they started with. Trevor Hignut going to come in. Your race leader comes in as well. See if Zane Scott stays out to lead a lap. Fox gets in pretty clean. Zane Scott going to come around 3 and 4. He's slowing to come into the pits as well. So Randall Fox should be able to come out with the race lead and not have lost it. Jonathan Lowe was the first one to come into pit. He was actually able to jump in front of Scott Lester and Chase Roberts. Fox is out of the pits already. Zane Scott coming out of the pits. We'll see if car number 20 was able to utilize that undercut to get to second, and I think it's going to be no contest. Jonathan Lowe gets in front of Zane Scott, Scott Lester, and Chris Roberts. Less than 40 laps to go here in Nashville. It has been an incredible show. These guys doing a phenomenal job of showing just what they are capable of week in and week out. Show you our race recap here. Lap 63 out of 100, leader Randall Fox, and that's really about all there is to say. At least in terms of flag events and race leaders. We're on lap 63, and Randall Fox been the only guy to lead this race. Chris Roberts still trying to get around Scott Lester. These guys, they were close to each other when they came into the pits. They come out pretty much still bumper to bumper. Gotta wonder how much motivation is going to catching that 20 in front of them. How much is going towards racing each other. Looks like the 93 got a little bit tight in dirty air. Had to let off the throttle just a bit. Loses a couple of car lengths. Jeff Sharp to the inside of Eiler. Doesn't quite get there on entry into turn 3. Got a good exit off of 4. Really goes to show how momentum-based these Arca cars can be, too. I mean, if you can keep that thing wound up and move it around, keep the speed up, compared to, you know, if you lose a little bit of grip, you lose a little bit of traction, you start to slide coming up off of the corner. I feel like it's a bit more prominent in this car versus some other cars. Randall Fox just set the fastest lap of the race at 29.89. As he continues to drive away, he's up to the tune of 14, or no, it's 10.9 seconds. Scott Lester, Chris Roberts, they're getting into some lap traffic. It's going to send the 10 up the racetrack a little bit. He's able to get down to the inside of car 17. That's Dustin Steinman. Here comes Chris Roberts looking down to the inside. Try to use that line that he's been using all race long. Just stay to the bottom. Wide arc on entry. Stay on the bottom. Get to the throttle. Center of the corner. Just so tough to pass. Another fast lap there. 29.86 out of Randall Fox. So he wants that Grand Slam. Say if he was fastest in practice, he'd be hitting for the cycle, but still a phenomenal weekend of pace, or weekday of pace for Randall Fox here. He's up to 11.9 seconds. Jonathan Lowe just about a second up in front of this group. They start to close in on him on corner exit. Which leads me to believe that that 20 is starting to feel the effects of those older tires. Came in 10 laps before your race leader, 6 laps before Chris Roberts in the 93. 6 laps on a concrete surface can really make a lot of difference. Lapped car getting out of the way. That's Gary Buchanan. But it's 0.7 of a second between second and third now. Don't look now. Zane Scott, who came in on the same lap as your race leader, Randall Fox. He's got a little bit fresher tires, and he's got into the back bumper of that 93. I've always said, though, catching him is one thing, passing him is another. A little bit of a slide out of the 93 coming up off of turn number 2. Allows that 37 to close in a little bit more. We're at about half a lane higher this time coming up off of turn number 4. Tags the wall just a little bit. Not sure if the 93 did in front of him, but that 37 of Zane Scott definitely did. So now we are running into a 4-way battle for second as Lowe trying to hold the bottom line. Those older tires, you can really see on the exit of the corner, are starting to affect that 20 car more and more every lap we go around. It's a good 3 and 4 there for Jonathan Lowe, but not quite good enough. Scott Lester starting to close in. Here comes Zane Scott down to the inside of the 93. It's a battle for third place. He's going to get a little bit loose at 37. Going to cost him a touch of time and a touch to the wall there for Scott Lester in car number 10. It's going to give Jonathan Lowe just a moment to breathe as we've come to 25 laps to go. This is the battle for second place. The leader is about 13.5 seconds up the road. We're not missing much in the very front. This battle here for second has been absolutely phenomenal. Here comes Roberts down to the inside. He's got some momentum. The 10 got a little bit loose, and now he's got help from the 37, Zane Scott. Scott going to try to jump to the bottom of the racetrack so he can make the pass on Scott Lester. He's not going to be able to quite get it done. He touched the apron. That cost him a little bit of time, and then he got loose coming up off of turn 4. So these guys get single filed out once again. And Chris Roberts trying to find a way around car number 20 to take over second place. Going to be able to stay lower than the 20 off of turn number 2. The 20 really has to let off of the throttle. Jonathan Lowe, only a car length separating him and third place now. As he tries to continue forward with this strategy, it's going to be tough. You see him sliding up the racetrack once again. Here comes Roberts down to the inside. Little bit of wall contact for car number 20. Jonathan Lowe is going to lose second. He's going to lose third getting into turn 1. And here comes Zane Scott down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to lose fourth place as well. 3 spots in 1/2 a lap. See what Jonathan Lowe can try to get done now is 37 and 10. The battle of the Scots once again heating up behind car number 93, Chris Roberts. These guys 14 seconds behind your race leader with 23 laps to go here in Nashville. Again, it's been a caution-free race. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here live on DRSN. No, it's been caution-free, but these guys have been absolutely all over each other. Those Scots have been unable to get away from each other, talking about Zane Scott and Scott Lester. Jonathan Lowe's strategy really threw a curveball on all of these drivers, and he's still able to stick with them. It's entirely possible that he might be able to get 1 or 2 of these spots back if the tires start to wear on those competitors in front of him. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in here live. It's an absolute blast to be here on DRSN. Also appreciate all of our partners. We got AI Chief, AdminBoxx. Of course, you can find all of our partners' links in our description. Sure to check them out as we've got a battle here for second place. Zane Scott, Chris Roberts. It's really heating up as we've got 20 laps to go at the line for these boys. 1/2 a lap ahead. Randall Falks has already taken it. He's down the back straightaway right now, looking at the 2 and the 5. Roberts trying to make something happen here on the outside of turn number 2. Big loose moment there for Jonathan Lowe. He's going to get up into the wall. 93 trying to get back to the inside of Zane Scott. Can't quite get to the throttle where he wants to, but he's going to try it anyways. He's got a good run, but just a little bit more momentum to the outside for Zane Scott. Going to be able to get clear for second. And with that, here comes Scott Lester looking to the outside to try to get himself some momentum to potentially push or pass that 93 in front of him. Roberts gets a little bit loose coming up off of turn number 2. Does not give Lester the opportunity to get to his inside, though. Lester going to try a wide arc, see if he can cut down in the middle to the exit of the corner. Can't quite get to that yellow line, but he's able to stay virtually equal with the 93 and 37 in front of him. Lowe starting to lose just a couple hundredths per lap. That's adding up over the course. But one mistake out of any of these guys can bring him right back into the fray. "17 laps to go here in Nashville." Roberts looking up to the outside of Scott once again. Haven't really seen anybody make this type of power move up on the outside, but here comes Chris Roberts. Started this race on the pole, or on the outside pole, on the front row. Try to get back up. Forgive me. He started in 3rd place. Fell back right away. Trying to get up to 2nd to match or create his best run of the race. Words are hard sometimes. Still side by side, getting into turn number 1. Roberts really trying to pinch that 37 down, but it's tough. You know, if he gets loose and hits you, you guys could both be goners. You got to play nicely as you pinch down in these Arca cars. You see the 37 almost tried to make a move down to the inside, but couldn't quite get his nose all the way down. Had to let up off of the throttle, and that really cost him time. Here comes the 10 of Scott Lester. He was looking to the outside of Zane. Now Jonathan Lowe looking down to the inside with 15 to go. Yeah, of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors here. We've got AI Chief, an AI-powered crew chief for iRacing that provides real-time strategy calls, fuel calculations, spotter information, race coaching, and a personality unlike anything else in sim racing. Built by racers for racers. Visit AIChiefRacing.com/DRSN. We've also got AdminBoxx. Take control of race administration with AdminBoxx. A plug-and-play button box designed specifically for league officials and race control. Features pre-programmed commands with no key binding required, making race management easier and more efficient. Visit www.adminboxx.com. Save 10% with code DRSN-box. Simpson Racing Pedals and Premier Racing Setups. Also with us, we've got a code for both of them. Simpson Racing Pedals. Upgrade your sim racing experience with Simpson's line of load cell pedals and sim racing hardware. Known for delivering excellent performance and adjustability at a competitive price point. Then Premier Racing Setups, looking for speed. Premier Racing Setups offers competitive setups for a variety of iRacing series to help you find those extra tenths and improve consistency on race day. Appreciate everybody for being a part of this on a Tuesday night, hanging out, racing with the boys, showing off products as well for our sponsors. We're glad to have you along with us and enjoying this incredible racing here from Nashville as Randall Falks, with his 16-second gap, is going to come here and take 10 laps to go here in Nashville. DOB Racing League Arca Series has been phenomenal to start this season, but a caution-free race. So we go to a 1.33 mile concrete oval where passing is as difficult as it is. It's going to be something for these guys to celebrate. And of course, Randall Falks is going to have a lot to celebrate if this holds true to the end of the race. Battle for second place has been on fire for the last 25 laps. Haven't really been able to get more than a car length or two away from third place, whoever's in second. Chris Roberts trying to do what he can to change that, pull away a little bit. Zane Scott trying to make quick work of Scott Lester just in front of him so he can get the final spot on the podium. Here comes car number 10. Down to the inside. Oh, slides up. There's contact. Scott Lester got loose, able to save it. That might be the most egregious thing that we've seen all race, and that is very far from egregious. That was just a little bit of a slide down on the inside, got loose, made contact, and both drivers able to drive away. Scott Lester lost 3 spots because of it. He didn't lose much time, as now here comes Zane Scott down to the inside for second place. Roberts using up all that racetrack that he can. Scott got a little bit loose before he could try to get up and use that side draft. It's a game of inches here in these Arca cars, especially with the power that they have coming up off of the corner. It's really easy to slide these tires but they don't generate a whole heck of a lot of speed down the straightaway in comparison to an Xfinity or a truck or a Cup car. It's just a little bit less. As here comes that 37 down on the inside. Roberts a little bit loose up on the top. He's going to try to pinch him. He had plenty of gap to go for with the run up on the outside. Going to try to pinch him down here, or is he going to stay a little wider? He stays wide coming through 3 and 4. 5 laps to go for your race leader. 4.5 down the back straightaway he is. This battle for second, over a half a lap behind the leader. A little bit of contact getting into turn 1. Oh, going to be a little bit more. Roberts went in there deep on the outside, trying to pinch that 37 down. Now here comes Jonathan Lowe with the oldest tires in this group, trying to come in and take away third place. Chris Roberts is doing the defensive driving of a lifetime right now, trying to hold on to second place. Now they're side by side here for third. We got one way up next to the wall, off the pace. Able to stay out of the way, no caution. 4 laps to go. Coming to 3 laps to go for Randall Foulkes. Coming up off of turn number 2, though. This battle for third is intense. Jonathan Lowe trying to use those older tires and get around the 37 of Zane Scott. Can he pinch him down just like he saw the 93 do a couple of laps ago? A little bit of help from the 10, trying to figure out which way is going to be the faster way around. He wants to get them both, but he's got to get one first. Looks like following the 20 is going to be the way he goes, as now the 20. Jonathan Lowe gets clear for third place, but he slides up the racetrack coming up off of 2. He's going to have to get out of the throttle, and he loses all of that momentum, loses that place. He's going to try it again on the inside. Can he get to the inside? Oh, a little bit of contact. That gets Jonathan Lowe loose. Scott Lester moves around him on the outside. Chris Roberts in second. Zane Scott in third. Scott Lester back to fourth. Jonathan Lowe rounds out your top 5. But we are coming to the white flag. Randall Foulkes has led from the drop of the green flag. He has gained 18.7 seconds on the rest of this field. I don't mean to... I wasn't keeping him off TV during the middle of the race for any reason other than the fact that he has just had it on lock. He has had everything figured out. It's, you know, the action has been everywhere else. This has just been pure dominance out of Randall in the 33. He's going to come up off of turn number 4 and get his 3rd win on the season in the DOB Arca Series. Going to wait about 18 seconds to see the conclusion of the battle for second. Zane Scott going to try to close in, but he's not going to have enough momentum. Chris Roberts comes home in second. Zane Scott in third. Scott Lester fourth. And Jonathan Lowe going to round out the top 5. William Peters got right to his rear bumper, trying to take away the 5th place. But Randall Foulkes got it done. He's going to burn it down. Randall Foulkes gets the job done over Chris Roberts and Zane Scott. These guys joked with me a little bit before the show. They said if we go caution free, we might just have to keep you instead of bringing Chris back. Well, Chris is on vacation, a well-earned vacation. I'm not going to try to take his job while he's gone, but we did get that caution free race. Fantastic drive out of everybody here. And going to go ahead and bring in... Looks like we got Chris Roberts in second, has jumped up in here. Chris, how you doing? Yeah, man, it was an incredible show, but that race for second was absolutely incredible. I mean, you guys were just dogfighting for pretty much the course of all 100 laps. What was that like, especially with the pit stop kind of separating you guys and then rubber banding back together? I mean, you guys did phenomenal. It was caution free, and we did see a little bit of contact throughout the course of the field. Notably, I think the 10 got down to your inside, a little bit of contact, and he got sideways. Similar deal might have happened with the 37 or the 20. But yeah, you came in with a 9-point gap. You finished second to Randall. How do you approach the rest of this season? I mean, or even this middle portion of the season, knowing that you've got such a close battle? Oh, my bad. I didn't realize it was a short series. Well, awesome stuff, man. You still got the points lead, I think, but moving into next week, it should just be a kind of mano a mano battle. What have you got for us, and who do you want to thank for such a strong run here tonight? Awesome stuff, Chris. Congrats on the second. Talk to you again, I'm sure, next week. All right, now we're going to bring in our race winner, Randall Falks. I tell you what, man, you didn't get a whole heck of a lot of TV time today, and I do apologize for that, but you were just so far out in front. From the drop of the green flag, you were, oh, goodness. Thank you for that. I gotta change a setting for, yeah, I
You
do
can talk to
apologize for
Randall, then
that.
we'll talk again.
Appreciate the, heads up there in the chat. Well, we got Randall Falks with us. Randall, how you doing?
Really good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Well, like I was saying, we didn't give you a whole heck of a lot of TV time, mainly because you were just so far out in front, and the battle for second was on fire from the drop of the green flag. But man, you come in here with a 9-point deficit to the lead. You do exactly what you need to do. You're fastest in qualifying, fastest in the race, lead every lap from the pole. Does it get any better as a racing driver than to have a weekend like this?
I don't know, man. That was pretty fun. I just want to start by saying, everyone should give their get a pat on the back because that was a great race, comparative to what we've had the past couple of weeks, and to go wire to wire. I think everybody should feel some sort of accomplishment off of that, and I hope they take that. And but it was fun. I just love this racetrack. Honestly, I got a knack for it, and it's so fun to get in a rhythm here. And I guess it showed tonight, and it paid off for us. I'll take the lack of TV time.
Yeah, man. I mean, from the drop of the green flag, you were just kind of on another level. Obviously, you didn't have to deal with any battles for position, but what was the toughest part about your night?
I think that probably the toughest part was just mentally, thinking, okay, when's this yellow going to come, and why, am I going to get screwed with tires? I think that was the biggest thing. Other than that, it was pretty smooth sailing. Everybody was pretty respectful.
Well, Randall, you got one more week to go. Going to Darlington next week. What have you got for us, and who do you want to thank for such a strong run here in that car number 33?
Well, we're excited for Darlington. That's another one of those places that I like running there. Hopefully we get a good clean race there as well. It will be a little more challenging than tonight, I believe, but hopefully everybody can get some time to practice and whatnot. But got to thank everybody here at the league, Chris, Scott, Auto Image Solutions. Appreciate those guys. Thanks Seven Creative Designs for coming on board and getting me this sweet looking design this week. James Collins over there, he's been one of my good friends for quite some time now, and he just kills it every time that I have an idea or ask him to do something for me, and he's amazing. He's the best out there. So everybody look him up. He's got a new page, new social page, Seven Creative. Everybody go there and check him out and give this guy some business because he's phenomenal.
Awesome stuff, man. I'll have to look into that. That sounds pretty fun. Appreciate you joining us here. Congratulations on such a dominant drive, man. I can't believe that. You almost lapped the whole field.
I appreciate it.
All right. Now we'll go with second, Chris Roberts. We obviously heard my questions already, so let's just jump back to you. What was it like racing there, that battle for second all race?
It was a lot of fun. It was intense. I screwed the start up, so put myself behind the 8 ball. But me and JLo caught back up to Zane and Scott there at the end of that fuel run when they were battling, and JLo pitted early. I went a little bit before Zane and Scott because I was running faster by myself than when I caught up to them. Screwed up the pit exit, so it really didn't make a difference. I mean, me and Scott come out the same way. We come out in front of Zane, but just we all rubber banded back together, like you said. And I was still driving hard, but I learned through that first half of the race if I could back the corner entry up and still run same lap time, if not faster. And I was doing that. So when it come crunch time, my tires were still good. Just knew not to give up the bottom, stay up on the top, and hold them down to the bottom, and it'd be good to go. And it paid off with another second.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal drive. We'll take a look here at the start, but it was overall an incredibly clean race. Obviously, we saw no cautions, and there was good, hard battling, but there was no crazy, egregious dive bombs. It was super good and respectful racing all throughout the night. How cool is that from your perspective to come in and see that, especially after kind of the way that this season has started off? It's tough.
Yeah,
you get
that's
20 guys in the
oh yeah.
Arca series.
Well, that's the first week of the season. We opened up at Kentucky, and we had 20 guys show up for that one. Had one early yellow, went green the rest of the way. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then we go to Iowa and Michigan with like 30 guys, and it was both tracks, multi-groove, cars all over the place. You'd think it was big smooth sailing, and it was rough. And we followed those up with South Boston, Martinsville, and those were your typical short tracks. And we come back here. Joked with you beforehand that we're going to go caution free. Murphy's the jinx. And we went caution free, so Murphy's the jinx.
Yeah, it was an incredible show. I mean, it was a little bit of beating and banging, but you guys did awesome. You've got a slight championship lead, 2 points, moving into next week. What have you got for us, and then who do you want to thank for such a strong run?
Randall's good at speedways. Sounded like during his interview that he's ready for Darlington, so I guess I'm going to have to put some laps in, see if I can't find speed to keep up with him. Because finish second and he wins again, I ain't going to cut it for me. So we're going to have to find some speed. But just like he said, I got to give props to everybody that was here tonight. All 21 guys put on a stellar race, green to checkered. That's awesome. Thanks to you for filling in for Murphy, and thanks Auto Image Solutions for coming on board this season and sponsoring it.
Awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on a hell of a race for both you and the league.
Thank you.
All right. Now, after a bit of delay, my bad, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Zane Scott. You got a copy?
Yes.
All right, man. You come home in third place, but that battle for second was absolutely intense. It looked like you got in there, maybe got a little bit loose and caught the door of the 93 in front of you for a moment, and that kind of cost you some time. But overall, what was it like racing in that group for so long under this, extended green flag race?
Last week, I wrecked 3 cars. This week, no cars. Good race.
Yes.
Next question.
Yeah, you come home in third after an insane battle with Chris Roberts, Scott Lester, and Jonathan Lowe. How tough is it to pass here, and how'd you get it done?
I bought track 5 minutes before practice ends. No practice. I learn as race goes. Very inconsistent, but still good. We finished third. Very happy, but if I practice, might be able to finish second. Next question.
Do you have Shep? Does Shep say hi?
Dog is at my feet. Good dog. He says hello.
Good dog. Well, awesome race for you here today, Zane. We got one more week. What have you got for us next week at Darlington? Do you have that track?
Yes? Question mark? If I do, probably still won't practice. So we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Well,
I've done
awesome.
all 3 races live, and they've all been decent. So
Yeah, well, had a decent race today. Before we let you go, who do you want to thank for such a strong run, especially without the practice?
first, Chris in the league. Second, Zane Scott Media. Best media service in dirt track racing in Ohio. Elbows Up SimSport. We're all old. We're all past our prime, but we're still good. See you next week. Darlington, no practice.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on the top 3.
Gracias.
I got to interview George of the Jungle there, I feel.
Yeah, left you a little baffled, eh?
Yeah, that was something. I like that.
He's a character.
Well, that's gonna do it for interviews. Let's go ahead and go through our results here. Randall Falks gets the job done. He leads all 100 laps over Chris Roberts and Zane Scott. Scott Lester, Jonathan Lowe, William Peters, Aja Case, Billy Rowley, Jesse Lynch, and Jeff Sharp round out your top 10. Randall Falk had the fastest lap of the race, the fastest lap in qualifying. He led the most laps. You see his name on this screen more than anybody else. Braden Eiler. Apologize for saying Brandon all night. Braden Eiler was your hard charger of the race, up 9 positions by the end of it. 0 lead changes, 1 leader, 0 cautions. So incredible stuff from these guys. Well, Chris, I'll let you say a couple final words if you'd like to before we send this one off.
Just once again, great race. That's how I envisioned this series going. That's not how the last 4 weeks went, but that was a hell of a job. Randall done waxed us again, but hopefully we'll catch up to him one day.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in here live. Apologies for the issues we had there for the interviews for a moment, but thanks for sticking with us. As always, I like to quote a couple people I like. Say, do it for Dale, be like Biff, and always keep it rowdy. And as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.